How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Battlegrounds Game Center. I'm Patrick, and wow, do I have a box to show off today. So this is about 4 years in the making. Arydia, The Paths We Dare Tread, by Cody Miller from Far Off Games. If you're familiar with them, they did Zaya, Legends of a Drift System, which is probably one of my all-time favorite games of all time. I played so much of it. I got all the different organization for it, and it's just one of those games I pull out and just have hours of fun with. And this was his next big game that he worked on many years ago. It has finally arrived through Kickstarter, and we have a few copies of this in store. This game is an absolute beast. This box is so big. It's about 27 pounds, I think. But the cool thing is everything is just packed in here nicely. The organization is insane. I kind of already looked at it a little bit, but I haven't really dived too deep into it because there is a lot of legacy elements to this game where you unlock different things that you'll be fighting and locations and stuff. So we're not going to be tearing it all open, looking through absolutely all of it, but we are going to take a look at how it's organized, what comes in the box and such. So let's go ahead and get this open and just check this beast out. So, let me, if I can get this box off here. All right. Woo! So, the first thing is, if you can see it here, there's just all the different backers for this game. I think there was over 10,000. All their names are on the edges of the box. So that is awesome. My name is in there somewhere. Haven't looked for it just yet, but you got a nice little description here on how to package the box after you've done all the stuff you need to. But on the top, you're going to have your rulebook. So everything you need, all the list of components here, which is at the front, which is a lot. And it doesn't show everything because, again, there's some legacy elements to this. They call it a green legacy game, which means you can kind of reset it after you're done. But how to set up your play space and such. So I've watched a few playthrough videos of this to kind of understand how it works, and it seems pretty intuitive. There's a lot going on. But it's one of those games you kind of just add more as you go and you learn as you go. So, and speaking of which, there's actually a quick start guide, which is what they recommend you doing immediately before you really dig into it. That's why I'm not going to dig too deep into all of this because I haven't played it yet and I want to go through this quick start setup. So this is going to get you going, like how you organize the decks with the dividers and everything. Kind of walk you through some turns, pretty much your first adventure. And then after that, you're free reign. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do it on camera. I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to end up just playing the whole thing solo or maybe with one other friend. But if I just played solo, maybe I'll try doing a playthrough of the quick start guide on camera. So we'll see how that goes. And then we've got our combat examples for the different paths. So a big thing about this game is you're going to be picking a path. You're going to create your character based around that path. And the paths have different skills that they can level up and stuff. But when we get to their boards, I'll show you. But this is a combat example on how some of their stuff might work. So it's a lot of rules up front, it looks like. But this is really just to help you ease into it. There's a lot of information here, but you'll get it as you go. Then we of course have our token sheets here. So the different token sheets. So there's actually going to be character portraits and names and what kind of race they are. And it's actually double-sided, so for both male and female. And then you're going to have, basically get to create your name. So I'm Ari, the nervous dwarf, or something like that. And that'll be on your character board. These are some check marks for your skills. So that's just one of the different punch outs. And the cool thing is there's a lot of punch outs in this game that are just not up front because they're going to be in treasure chests and stuff. So, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like here in a moment. But here's another punch board, and there's a lot of tokens, but you're not really going to use all of this, especially if I'm playing solo. Most of this is just going to be unused. They punch out nicely, so that's good. There's some starting equipment. I know the Path of Shadow gets some traps and stuff to start, which is actually probably what I'm going to start as. Not just because it's purple, but just because it's more of a sneaky thief type. So everybody's going to get their own little boxes here. So these boxes are going to have all the components that you need. So you get a d20 for when you're doing combat and skill checks. You're going to get some cubes here for your actions and such. And then you're going to have your starter cards. And the cool thing is with these cards, and I'm actually going to open these once and show you, very appreciative of this. The production is just insane. like Zaya was an insane production with all like the painted miniatures and everything, and this is like taking it to 11. So this kind of goes over like all their information here for the Path of Shadow. This is going to be like your level up type thing here. And then it has all your starter weapons, your traps, like your different skills that you're going to start with. And what I like about these cards is not only do they have all the information you need in order to use them, they even have FAQs on the back. So if you have a question like, hey, how does this check work? There's the answer. Do I automatically miss if I roll a natural 1 on a d20? There's the answer. So like, if you want to know how something works, all you got to do is flip it over. You don't have to go through the rule book, really, or anything like that. All your information is in your deck of cards for your path. That is so cool. But, so yeah, that is one of the packs here. And all the characters are going to have one. You're going to have your tokens, you're going to have your die, and you're going to have your cards. So, kind of just pull these out and in. And we're just going to go through like maybe the first few layers here. I'm going to try to keep it as organized as I can as we go. You're also going to have, so speaking of items and stuff, so you're going to also have these little treasure chests here, which is your path treasure chest. So these you don't really open or mess with until the game tells you to. So like you'll be in a mission or something and it'll be like, okay, for your reward here, you get to take an item out of your chest, and you open it up and there's a bunch of different items of different sizes, and you don't get the look. You just pick something random, so that's really cool. And I think there's a way to add more stuff to this, or this is just going to be like special level up equipment. Very nice. The other cool thing is the game has metal, or I think it's like metal money and stuff, just like how Zaya did. So there's some acrylic tokens you're going to get. These really cool gold and copper and silver pieces that look really nice. So I'll open the gold here, show you off one. They're nice metal pieces, and they even have like symbols imprinted into them. So yeah, that's like the gold. And then you got silver and then like copper. So that's going to be your money. And it even has nice little storage trays. So you don't even have to use your own storage trays. The game comes with it. It is awesome. And then we're going to put that away for now. You got some more acrylic tokens, of course, to keep track. So some of them are for like shields and stuff on enemies. You're going to have your different bases here. They're colored based off like if you're fighting a mob or not. Double-based stuff. So very nice. And then we have a few wooden components. So this is a squill thing. I don't know how this works exactly, but I know it's like one of the ways how you win is you have to get so many squills, and then you'll win the game. And then we got some wooden travel tokens here. So these are used in different events, and depending if they're flipped or not, will determine certain outcomes. So this is a campaign game and kind of a lifestyle game, very similar to something, not so dissimilar to like Gloomhaven or something like that. So be prepared to be playing it for a long time. But it is like very open world and free play, and you can do a lot of things, go to a lot of places at your own pace and such. So we've got the world map here. So I think there's a few different maps of the world map, and more might unlock over time. And the cool thing about these are triple layered. So the little pieces here, depending on where you start, it'll tell you. You'll flip it open, and then that shows you a location that you have unlocked, and then you'll be able to move to different locations. From those locations, then as you move, they'll unlock, and it'll tell you whether there's going to be events or a town or a shop or something like that, and that's your world map that you'll be traveling on. You've got some other components here, some of these crystals. So this is like damage crystals and such, wear and tear in your armor and stuff. And then you're going to have these enemy dice. So these dice are going to be rolled when monsters and stuff fight against you. And depending on what color they roll will determine where they hit. So like this is on like the head and shoulders and stuff like that. And then that'll determine where you take damage or if you block it and stuff from the monsters. So very cool there. Okay, well, now I guess it's time to show these off before I get too deep. So these are your characters that you get to pick. And one of the nice things about this is, so say I pick my Path of Shadow, that's the body for the Path of Shadow. And then depending on the race or gender that I pick, so like let's say I pick a Fae here, which is pink, you get to pick one of their heads, male or female, and it actually just slots right into the body. So you can at a glance tell what, race you are, what your path is. And then there's a bunch of different heads for like human, dwarves, orcs, some cat people, some snake people. These are fae. It's really cool. And then, if you ever want to have somebody else play a path, and because you can easily switch paths and stuff throughout the game, you can always give them this body. You take a different body. So that's the Path of Shadow body. And then you got like the Path of Inspiration here, which is basically a bard. I think this is the Path of Arcane, so like kind of like a wizard. You don't remember which one this is, but kind of like a monk. And then you got like your ranger class here with the bow and arrow. And it's all pre-painted. Everything in the game is pre-painted. So that includes even the monsters and stuff. So not just the characters here. So that's the Path of the warrior or Path of Strength or something like so the basic warrior class. So as you unlock monsters, because there's so many little boxes here. So you'll have different boxes. So these are like the large dungeon pieces or map pieces. You'll have long, you'll have short, small, and it'll tell you when to get them, and you'll put them together to create a map. So like here's like the big cards, and you can see how many there are. There's so many. You got a little track here for when you're in combat. It's a combo track and a threat track for your enemies that you'll be getting over time as you fight. I actually have a little expansion that I got with mine, the Epic Hunt. Now, I know ours that we got didn't have this, but mine did. It was just like a little Kickstarter exclusive. And actually, I'll just show you like one of the monsters looks like. So this actually comes with some extra stuff to include in your game from the start, but it also includes a new little figure that you'll get to fight. I'll just open this up because he's already on the front. But yeah, he's just like a little pre-painted wizard chameleon type thing. He's really cool. And again, everything is pre-painted. So once you're done at the game and say you just don't, you can always use the minis for other things like D&D or something if you wanted to, which is really cool. And then the monster box themselves are like the figure box. It's essentially an advent calendar. So you'll get it and you'll open it up, and then you'll have the different places where you can punch depending when the game tells you. It'll tell you open fig 160 or open box B2, and then you'll go in here and open it up. And then they still have a space that once you're done, you just rip that off or keep it open, and you can put your stuff back in there for organization purposes. So, and there's two big boxes like that. You've got all your different cards. So depending on if they're a foe, for the foes, for the key deck, the day deck, and then you're going to do some organization here before you start the game with the quick start guide, but all the different characters and cards here. So you've got all those. You got decks for NPCs, traveling, reference cards, points of interest, then decks for events, jobs, threats, the threat deck, and a party deck. And then down here, which is really cool. So this is your path boards. So they have their nice little sleeve here, and when you pull them out, this is everything you need for your character. So this is where you're going to create like your name, your portrait, and all that, where you're going to gain experience, your inventory space, any skills you've unlocked, and then your base stats, depending on what you start with, based off your race and everything. You'll put little tokens in here, how much money you've got. And as you go, this is going to be your actual, like, what you're carrying, what armor you're wearing, your stamina, your magic points, your hit points. And this all gets to stay in here. So as you add things, they just stay in, and then you just slip it right back in for easy saving. So you don't have to take photos or something to remember what stuff was. And then these are some of the skills that you'll start with. And then there's more skills that you'll unlock, of course, in the future. So you kind of just push these down, and they come out. And then it'll tell you if you've unlocked it. You put a little check mark in there. So if you want to put these away and swap them out, and then you'll remember that, I have this unlocked. And they're double-sided, so it'll tell you how to get it, to master it. And when you master it, you'll flip it over, and then you'll be able to start using it. So these are really cool. This thing is just so... I don't want to say overproduced, but produced to perfection. Like, everything about this is so beautiful. And it's going to make gameplay really easy to kind of just plug and go as you need. So very appreciative. The design of it is great. I don't want to really dig too far into it, just because I want to go through it myself and do the quick start and get all the setup, and I don't want to miss anything. That is a good chunk of what comes in this box for Arydia, the Paths We Dare Tread. Organizing it back up, you got a little thing here to tell you how to do it. So I'm going to probably get everything all set up for a quick start here, and we'll probably do a video in the future of me playing through that first little bit, going through the game, and it kind of teaches you how to play and such. So I'm really excited about this. We got a few copies in the store, like I said, so if you're interested in picking this up, we will have it in store, or I'll probably have it on our eBay store. So if we do that, I'll have a link in the description below. But if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. I'm Patrick at Battlegrounds Game Center. Until next time, see you later.